You should not, and you cannot get emotional about that loss. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. If you've done the work in back testing and you've seen how many times it's done it, how many times you would have seen it and potentially failed, but yet the next day or the next trading session, it materializes and there it is. But if you over leveraged and you placed more emphasis on the outcome of that singular trade, because you just got $100 more and you can get to that funded account, you'll pass your challenge. When you have that small little obstacle and you want to do more than necessary to overcome it, so that way you can get to some feat, some plateau, a funded account, and then you lose it. And you feel like, oh, I should have never done that. Let me hurry up and fix it. And you're jumping in when there's no model there to be entering on. You're impulsively reacting to what price is doing right now after you've taken a loss, whether being squeezed out of the marketplace or actually getting a hard stop hit. At that moment, your brain's going to revert back to what you know. What have you been trained to observe and price? If you've done no backtesting, if you've collected no journals of these things occurring and growing comfortable with, sometimes you might get it wrong. The model's not incorrect. You are. When I mess it up, I did it wrong. But when you have a loss, you should not go and start imagining the end of the world, like you have to hurry up and fix this. Lord forbid you go home with a negative drawdown. Lord forbid, that can't happen. I mean, we're supposed to be profitable every day. We're supposed to be profitable every trade. That's not practical. You're learning how to do this. In the beginning, you got to give yourself permission to, hey, I'm going to make mistakes. And you want to learn how to make those mistakes safely in the beginning and make lots of them, because that's where your learning is going to come. And the mistake of trying to avoid losing or losing streaks only invites more of that. It's a weird paradox. The more you try to avoid taking a loss, the more likely you're going to have them. Why? How could that possibly be like that? Because you're trying to do something psychologically, emotionally, stimuli is forcing you to act impulsively instead of following the model. How many silver bullets can form in that 1 hour? You're looking for one. That's all you're looking for. It's not going to be 6 of them. It's not going to be a baker's dozen. It's one. And if you missed it or you did it wrong, don't go back in. Let it go. It's going to be real hard for the men to do that. But the ladies in my fold, they're like, you know what? I'll just tape read the rest of it. I'll journal it. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And it's just more experience. Next. No, not the guys. Just imagine John Wick, okay? They just lost. They just got stopped out of their trade. That's it. Where's my sledgehammer? I'm going down in the basement. I'm busting my basement's floor up. I'm pulling out another weapon. I'm going to war. I've done it. Trust me, I've done all that stuff. And every time I did that, the account got blown. You turn one small little insignificant loss into a comeback story that becomes a tragedy. And you do it to yourself. It's very easy to unplug. If you have the data, the resources of collecting these back-tested results, studying a model, sticking to the rules. You're not supposed to be going in there taking multiple entries between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock. You're not supposed to be doing that. That's not the model. If you missed it, don't chase it. Let it go. The ladies in my fold, they can do that easily. The men, nope, it's an invitation to a street fight. They're wanting to bring a knife to a gunfight. That's exactly what they do. And I love them for their tenacity and their willful commitment to go in there and just do battle. But you have to pick and choose your battles, man. You can't go in there expecting your weapon to do what's usually formidable and capable of doing what's necessary in a silver bullet. or whatever model that you're trying to work with. If you've missed that opportunity, the probabilities of you being successful at that moment have shifted to less likely. Not impossible, but less likely. So why would you want to push at that moment when you're now highly sensitive to the fact that you have taken a paper cut? And that's exactly what it should be. Not 10% of your account. Not, well, I lost the max loss on my funded account challenge today. Why? Why? Why are you opening yourself up to that measure of risk? Because you want to get through that funded account challenge fast. Because you think that something magical will happen. You're not going to have losing trades when you get to the funded account. You're going to be scared to death if that's how you feel when you're in the funded account challenge portion of it. When you get to the funded level, you're going to be scared. You won't want to take a trade. And you're going to wait and watch price start moving outside of the entry time when you should have taken it. And then you're going to exit way too soon too. So you're going to chase price where it's not in a very low risk, high probability entry, silver bullet. You're going to wait for what you think is confirmation. The price is going to move. And you're thinking, okay, yeah, it's right. It's definitely going now. It's unmoved 8 handles in the S&P. And I could probably eke out 4 more because it's about ready to go to that buy side. So yeah, I'm giving up 8, but I'm going to make 4. So, it's not real money anyway. It's a funded account challenge. If that's how you're thinking, and folks, you need to be real honest with yourself. If that's what you're doing right now, you're not prepared to be trading with a funded account or live money at all. And I know that doesn't feel good to hear that, but that's exactly the medicine you need to take right here, right now. If you're ignoring that, if you're ignoring the fact that you're not prepared, see, my female students, they bring those observations about themselves to me with those very things, pointing out, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking about at the time when I take a loss, this is what I'm considering. Is this right? If it's not right, tell me what I should be doing. The men want to complain to me that it's hard. What's different there? They went out to battle and they got their ass kicked. And they want to be coddled. The women understand that they're not going to win every time. But they got to make preparations. Things still got to get done, even if they take a loss. They still have to keep their account. Men think, well, I can respawn. It's only this much money to restart the account. My son did the same thing. That was the mentality. That was his words. It doesn't cost that much to reset it, so I'm just going to try to do it really fast. When that's not doing anything but fostering poor habits. You're inviting difficulty in your trading when you think like that. And what do you think is going to happen over time? Trading like that, ill-equipped, you haven't done time backtesting, you haven't collected data to support the idea that the model you're trading with or trying to trade with, if you're even following it, what's the sense of even going through learning a model if you're not going to adhere to it? What's the whole purpose of even studying certain things, whether it be by me or someone else, if you're not really going to follow the model? I have lots of students, male, that say, I follow this. And I said, okay, show me your trades. They're real uncomfortable with that because when they show me their trades, they're entering way outside the boundaries of where the trade should be taken. What's going on there? They're not following the model. Or they're not good enough to identify it because they haven't spent enough time studying old moves and getting bored with that. Then tape reading it and seeing it repeat. Think about why I gave you that model. Why did I give you that model? It's a high frequency trading model that repeats every single day, 3 sessions per day. I already know what you're looking for. You want to have experience quickly. You don't want to be waiting on a daily chart setup. You want to learn what it is that you're supposed to know. You want to get out there, do what you have to do, and start making money. I get it, folks. I understand. But there are certain things that you cannot speed through. You can't just rush through it and think that, well, I'm going to be the exception. I'm really good at this. You don't understand ICT. I was made for this. I was built for this. when you include money in that, you have now changed the whole dynamic. It's not enough to be right or wrong anymore. Now you have to be right. And if you're wrong, not lose more than that's reasonable. So if you're not going to follow the model, if you're not going to train yourself to see what it is that should be followed and allow the data to support the idea that the model's sound, you're not going to have the mentality to follow it because you're not going to trust it. You haven't seen it enough. You're familiar with it. Oh yeah, that's a fair value gap. That's easy. They've been around since the 1900s. These are people that can't follow a model. You don't want to be that. You want to be someone that says, you know what? I'm treating this like a business. Okay, I don't have time. Things are changing. I want to be ahead of all this stuff. I want to start making money consistently, and I want to be able to weather losing streaks and know that it doesn't mean that the model's broken. It doesn't mean that the algorithm has been canceled and done away with. The markets have now shifted into some kind of unknown randomness. You're going to trust that you did it wrong. Okay, there's nothing to beat yourself up about. There's another opportunity coming around in a couple more hours. Just sit around, wait for it. Don't rush to get in there and get it back. Don't fear losing, because the fact of you trying to prevent a loss, you are going to do things that actually invite it. And that will be a repeating loser cycle that you will go through and won't identify it. You'll swear up and down you're following the model. You'll swear up and down that the broker did it to you. That so-and-so did it to me again. Them guys did it to us guys. When you just didn't do it right. That's all. And mental health is managed, and I understand I'm bipolar, and this is going to be something of a rich topic to touch on, but I think I'm equipped to do so. I wrestle with a lot of that kind of stuff, and it's very hard for me to focus. I have to imagine my son being in front of me when I'm talking like this, because when I allow myself to think about how many people are actually listening, it messes me up. Doesn't sound like that, does it? But that's the truth. Your mental health as a trader needs to be guarded. You got to keep all the bullshit out. No negative. Don't give these jokers on the internet time to give you any kind of second guessing or doubting of what it is that you're doing, or inspire you to want to go out there and bring them evidence. Fuck these people. They're broke. They want to see if they can get a rise out of you. And if they can, they own you. For that moment, they own you. Who's in control of yourself at that moment? They are. So you want to be guarding your mental health. And the way you keep yourself on the right road in progress is by following the model that you've back tested, that you have seen sometimes it doesn't work well in your hands, and that's okay. You ever had a car accident? Did you ever hit a manhole? You ever hit a curb with your tires? What happened? Something cost money, right? Did you stop wanting to drive a car because you did that? No. That's the same thing that you need to treat your trading with. You need to look at your losses. If you cannot make, let me make sure I say this correctly, because the focus is you're starting to learn how to do this. So you don't really have a baseline yet. You need to determine what you can realistically make. Well, I've given you a target, which is 5 handles. That's very low-hanging fruit. It's very easy to get to. Admittedly, for someone new, it doesn't feel so easy, does it? But over time, you'll get there. It's easy. And then it'll grow exponentially beyond that. But if you're trading 1 micro, not many, micro, what are you really risking if you risk 5 handles to make 5? $25. Man, I don't got time for the $25 thing, ICT. Well, then I can't help you. Because what you're saying is you don't want to condition your mind to follow a model. Because if you can do that very, very well, what do you think is happening when you apply it to 1 mini? And then eventually 5 minis, 10, 15. You're not equipped to appreciate the level of focus that's required for you to trust the model, not looking at the money.